All right. What is up, everybody, and welcome to Studio de Jeffrey, where today we have a mock draft roundup. I like mock draft roundups, but only when it's people that I like and respect. Not if there's all the people who do 7 million mock drafts. But today we're going to have Lance Zeirlein, NFL.com, knows his stuff. We're going to have Pete Prisco, CBS, knows his stuff. And we're going to have Todd McShay, ESPN, knows his stuff. And then I'm going to throw in one of my own. I already hit go on the simulator. And I'll give you 2 rounds, just as a little quickie. Sorry I haven't been around for the last week or so. I couldn't figure out how to work internet in my house. That's real life. And I cut myself on a blender. It's a good blender, though. Makes smoothies. This presentation, of course, brought to you by my friends at Bet Online, your number one source for all of your betting this season, including the college basketball that I hope you just enjoyed. The latest odds, bracket contests, team matchups, game trends, Masters Week, baby! Updated odds on everything from live games to whatever else it is that you're looking for. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to sign up. Receive that 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use the promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, to receive your bonus. Promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V. BetOnline.ag, where the game starts. I'm working on trying to get another partner on here that would be very personal and awesome to me. But we'll see. So think good things. Okay. So let's go through it. Mock draft number 1, Lance Zeirlein, NFL.com. Cowboys select Quentin Johnston, TCU wide receiver. Other names that go after that in the first round. Ooh, he put Cedric Tillman, the Tennessee wide receiver, at the end of the first round. Keon White, the Georgia Tech edge rusher. Kalijah Cansey, the Pittsburgh D tackle, who I love, but he's tiny. Luke Musgrave, the Oregon State tight end. Drew Sanders, Arkansas linebacker. Oh, Joey Porter Jr. went 2 picks before, and Bijan went 3 picks before. Zay Flowers went before. I lost some of the receivers I would want. Pick Quentin Johnston, TCU wide receiver, which I would be fine with. I think his ability to win the deep ball and help you make big plays as a full-size dude that's pretty good after the catch. What is interesting about Quentin Johnston, as I am into every version or every aspect of scouting the draft, and so I do keep up with the numbers and how things translate and how much do you care about the combine and their timed things, because Quentin Johnston is kind of a weird player in that he's a really big guy that wins deep and is good after the catch, right? Those aren't things you picture as being exclusive to the big guy. He was not good at contested catches. And he's big. So it's like, that's weird. He's good after the catch, and he wins deep, but his 40 time was unimpressive, and his 3-cone time, which is your wee running, was unimpressive. And so you start having these questions like, will that translate to winning deep? Will that translate to being good after the catch? And those are the little question marks that start popping up. But Quentin Johnston is one of my 1, 2, 3, or 4 top wide receivers. Him and Zay Flowers, like right there behind Jackson Smith and Jigba and Jordan Addison. And so that is mock draft number 1. Gives you a full-size X wide receiver to pair with CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks and Michael Gallup, but he would kind of be competing with Michael Gallup for snaps. That is mock draft number 1 with a little bit of analysis. Mock draft number 2, Pete Prisco. Bijan Robinson, University of Texas running back. Guys who went after him include Miles Murphy, the pass rusher out of Clemson, Brian Branch, the DB out of Bama, Nolan Smith, the edge rusher out of Georgia. I will tell you that in this scenario, I would take Nolan Smith, and it's just because of my running back hatred, or whatever you want to call it. I love Bijan. Bijan, I've said it many times. I've been doing this for 10 or 11 years. And he's the best running back that I've scouted. So at the end of the first round, if somebody takes him, I ain't mad at him. I'm not going to say you can't ever draft a running back ever. We're past the world of drafting them in the top 5 for now. And if you have one who you think is super special that makes it to 26, I don't hate the pick. I just wonder a bunch of things about the pick, including if you have a $10 million back in Pollard and a first-round back in Bijan, don't you feel like they're both going to get the ball a pretty good amount? And don't you feel like that means that they're going to be running the ball more than most of the teams in football? And don't you realize that this is a passing league and that's how you score? But you would be set up well for not, you'd have Pollard for a year and then you'd have Bijan for the next 4 in theory, unless somebody holds out and blah, 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 blah. So great player who, if he were on the Cowboys, I'd be like, sweet, that's another offensive weapon that can help you score points, and he's the best running back I've ever scouted. That sounds pretty good, right? But if Nolan Smith is on the board, boy, I've got another Micah Parsons starter kit here, and we're kicking quarterbacks' asses at a premium position. So Pete Prisco, your pick, Bijan Robinson. Lance Zeirlein, your pick, Quentin Johnston. Todd McShay, your pick, Michael Mayer, tight end, Notre Dame. I don't know how many of you listen to 97.1 The Freak, where I am on from 7 to 11 a.m. Monday through Friday in Dallas-Fort Worth. You can listen on the iHeartRadio app. Just look up the show name, The Speakeasy, on the iHeartRadio app on 97.1 The Freak, and you can find us there. But we started our draft show last week, which the podcast is available on that iHeart app. Just look up The Speakeasy and go find it. It was Dave Hellman and I did an hour. And when we got to tight ends, I feel like he made a pretty good point that we're going to get there and we kick around all these player names, and there's a decent chance you're going to get there in the mid-late 20s, and 2 or 3 tight end names might be right at the top of your board in terms of best available player, and the Cowboys could use it because you are still looking for playmakers. I like Jake Ferguson. Peyton Hendershot contributed. Sean McEwen can contribute. I would like for that room to have a little more in it. And Michael Mayer is the boring tight end in this class that is, by me probably, and some, probably a little bit underrated in that he's an awesome tight end prospect. He's a good blocker. He is a good receiver. He's good after the catch. He's good at everything. You just get enamored with the other guys that play the same position that are awesome at some other things, where it's like Darnell Washington, the Georgia tight end. Better blocker, better athlete. Dalton Kincaid, Utah. Man, receiving. He ain't going to block, but you want to talk about being able to flex out and run routes and go snatch the ball from people. And it's like Michael Mayer, good at blocking. He can run block. He can pass block. He is great at finding holes in the zone. He's great at catching the football with people around him. He's good after the catch. He's a really good player. Not a huge vertical threat, but ball skills for days, can step in and be an NFL blocker. Michael Mayer contributes and likely starts as a rookie. So those are your 3 mock drafts. Now, let's kick it over to Jeff's mock draft, where, let me see if I can share this with you guys so you can see it. Just need to make sure I got out some content today. Some content. Okay, so I need to add into my Streamy Deemy, or technically I guess this is a recording, a window capture, and the window capture would be that, and it's now in there, and it's going to be weird in terms of the fit. I'm going to need to bring my face over here, and bam! All right, now you have the screen. And I think I picked 2 rounds, but the names that I am looking at, Dalton Kincaid is an option. Deonte Banks, corner, Maryland, option. Brian Breesy, defensive lineman. Clemson, option to play the interior. Maybe give you a little bit of juice there on the inside. Will McDonald, fun pass rusher that Dan Quinn ran his workout at Iowa State. Emmanuel Forbes, corner at Mississippi State. Mozzie Smith, Michigan, defensive tackle, giant run stuffer. B.J. Ojulari, pass rusher LSU, that's a nice player. Osiris Torrance, I think, is probably the best guard in the class. So if you were drafting on need, you could go Osiris Torrance. Steve Avila is the other one. Jahmyr Gibbs. You've also Josh Downs, I think. There's a chance he's a first-round player. Same with Cam Smith, even though everybody else's rankings hate him. In this scenario, man, I think there's a chance Emmanuel Forbes turns out to be the better player. I'm just letting the 166-pound thing affect me a little bit, and I love Deonte Banks for a full-size corner with his movement skills. Emmanuel Forbes has the ball skills and the ball production. I could go either way. Will McDonald would be a fine pick. Brian Breesy would be a fine pick. I'm going to take the corner. We're going to go with Deonte Banks out of Maryland with our first-round pick. And we're going to get down into the second round here. And I already took a corner. Otherwise, you could take Tyreek Stevenson right there. Chandler Zavala I like. I don't know if I would love him in the second round, but I do think that he's going to be a starting NFL guard. Is there any receivers that they have way wrong? No, not really. Okay, so we look at everybody. Henley, I think, could be a quality NFL linebacker. He's got fun tools. Tank Dell could be a fun, just hell to deal with, quickness wide receiver. Okay, I'm going to do something weird. I don't know if you guys are prepared for this. The offensive lineman that I actually really like, you could take Ika, the Baylor defensive tackle, giant guy. I'm actually going to take Joe Tippmann. He plays center for Wisconsin, but I think I can play him at guard, no problem. He's a weirdo that he's 6'6", and when you watch him play, the flexibility and everything, like he plays like he's 6'2", with being able to get his pad level down, and the knee bend is so easy for him. He's a really good player. I'm going to take Joe Tippmann and play him at guard just because I haven't seen anybody else do it yet, and it's fun to talk about. So there you go. How about 4 mock drafts for you? You got Bijan, you got Quentin Johnston. What's the other one that I was missing? We had a Bijan, Michael Mayer, Notre Dame tight end, and a Deontay Banks. Let me know in the comments which one you like. Shout out to my friends at Bet Online for presenting this broadcast to you, and shout out to you for being my friend and hanging out with me on YouTube. You the best. Love. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through, so be cool to everyone, and remember that I love you. All of you. Most of you. I love even those of you that I would meet and not love you. I still love you. I just hope you could become someone I would love more with therapy and stuff. No, I love you guys. Bye.